What's up, everyone? Cordell Radke here, and I'm here today to talk to you all about my Full Sail University experience. I've been getting a lot of comments actually on my videos that I did over the course of my years at Full Sail. A lot of comments just asking general questions about my experience, and I kind of wanted to answer all those questions for you guys right now. So let me start off by saying that Full Sail is located in Winter Park, Florida. It's funny because I'm actually not even from Florida, nor do I have any desire of living there, to be honest. But I'm actually an online student, or I was an online student, I should say now. I was an online student living in California. In fact, the only reason why I knew about Full Sail in the first place, excuse me, was because my brother graduated in music production, taking the online courses as well. And I think he found out about Full Sail because after doing some research, he found that it was one of the very creative and technical school programs, and he decided to do online for whatever reason. Anyways, long story short, tell you a bit about me, my story, what I want to do with this channel, YouTube channel of mine. My dad got laid off Microsoft in Seattle after working there about 25 plus years. So you already know I'm kind of a techie child. Uh, my family moved to Monterey. My dad found a job working at Dole. I was finishing up my last 2 years of college, and now I'm living in Sacramento right now, looking for a full-time job. I graduated Full Sail University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Web Design and Development as valedictorian and with awards in leadership, organizational behavior, and a course director award. And just for proof, I'll show you guys. This is my degree. Yeah, this is the real deal. Pieces of paper. Yes, my couple awards that I got. Now, I paid so much money for 4 pieces of paper. Isn't that amazing? No, anyways, let me talk more about that. So I want this video to be as real as possible. I'm not using a green screen behind me. I just want this to be down to earth and tell you guys how my experience actually was. I'm giving my completely honest opinions here. I'm not supported at all on this. I'm not making money from this video, okay? So here we go. One of the questions I got was the program easy, or am I just a genius when it comes to coding? Well, truth be told, I am not a genius in code. I'm not a coding wizard, and the program was not easy. It was not easy at all, guys. In fact, I failed so many courses during my time at Full Sail that I didn't even think I could graduate. There's this limit that I actually wasn't aware of. I'm sure they had it listed somewhere on their website, but there's this certain thing called when you. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Maybe I'll just leave a comment down below. Anyways, my percentage was at like a 92%, which means if I would have failed one more class before I graduated, I wouldn't have graduated. So I was stressing hard my last year at Full Sail. To be honest, I just felt like in tears because I was like, okay, I've spent two, almost 3 years of my life, working really hard towards this degree, and you're telling me that I had to retake a couple of classes. Let's say I retook, I don't know exactly, okay, guys, but I had to retake at least 3 classes. And that in itself just explains a lot, right? Granted, I was, this was my first time learning how to code. I had zero coding experience prior to Full Sail. But yes, I had to retake some classes, and I believe a lot of people have to do that in college. But they have this rule where if you retake a certain percentage, you just won't graduate. So I was in that range where I was so close to not graduating. And now you guys are probably thinking, well, Cordell, how in the world did you get valedictorian? Well, I'm glad you asked. So yes, this is true. To this day, I don't even know how it happened, but I do know. What I do know is that I worked my butt off working at school almost 20 hours a day, guys. To be honest, I believe I just had a lucky graduation month due to the idea that there aren't as many maybe web design and development graduates as there are like something like video game designer graduates. Or I was just so far behind everyone else in the program that I graduated by myself. It's just funny how the online system works. But anyways, that's not what's important right now. What's important is that even though I felt like quitting towards the end, I just kept pushing myself, and I finished the last couple of months in college strong. Now, again, to answer some of your guys' questions, hopefully I can keep this video short, but I've noticed I've been getting a lot of questions on tuition and how my overall experience was, and would I recommend attending Full Sail. First of all, let me just say this. If you think online would be easier and you think you'll be able to graduate quicker than the average college student, would be way better, you're right. No, I'm just kidding. That is a terrible way of thinking because that's exactly how I was thinking when I went into Full Sail, when I started Full Sail. Um, Number one, online is not easy. In fact, it might even be harder because you have the whole internet distracting you constantly. Not saying that you can be distracted in a physical college lecture, but trust me, you're definitely going to be distracted with the YouTubes. The assignments roll by really quick, while some roll on top of each other without you even realizing it. So you really just have to be focused and not procrastinate online. And again, online is not for everyone. Since my degree was focused on web design and development, and I love being on the computer anyways, I think it worked out in the end for me, even though there were plenty of days when I urgently really needed a physical tutor right standing next to me at all times to figure out some of the assignments. Now, with that said, I believe my brother graduated in music production with flying colors. Uh, he may just be a musical genius. I don't even remember him telling me that he had to retake, 5 different courses. Yes, I had to retake, I know I said 3, but I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 courses I had to retake. I know there was one course that I had to retake at least 3 times. Um, but I think that's where it kind of comes down to the instructor, how you communicate with them. But um, anyways, I originally wanted to graduate in graphic design, but my parents said I'm already great at graphic design. I already have the experience. I did a lot of it in high school, and they said I should learn how to code. Learn how to code apps and websites for the potential of getting hired full time for a very well paying job. So I took their advice, and I'm really glad I did actually. Learning to code, I believe, is becoming more popular than ever before. Many businesses are looking for people to code their apps, their websites, and I knew that having both designer and developer skills, I could learn something like I could land something a good job. And although currently I'm still applying for jobs, I'm still looking for a job right now. I can assume that getting my foot in the door is just something that doesn't happen right after graduation. But if Full Sail has taught me anything, it would be not to give up. So, yes, I am still searching for a job. I'm just applying for entry level positions. It's tough. I mean, I was living in Monterey, and I knew I wasn't going to find anything there, so I wanted to move in Sacramento. I already knew some people living there, so I'm living with my uncle right now. But anyways, the cost of college, it was a bit pricey, but isn't college always pricey? Um, I mean, what college isn't pricey? I'm not sure how much money my parents paid, maybe like about half, but um, yeah, on my behalf for retakes and initial costs, I didn't really pay much. My parents were helping me out. I guess you can say I was just blessed by them. But I know for certain that after graduation, right now I owe almost 30,000. Which honestly isn't that bad, I think, compared to other colleges. As far as I know, I haven't researched anything, but so yes, I will be paying about $300 a month for about 10 years. Maybe less, depending on where life takes me. If I get a really well-paying job, I'll probably be able to pay it off pretty quick. The cost will be different for everyone's circumstances. So if you really want a better estimate of what you may be paying, I suggest just looking at their website, because honestly, it's going to be different no matter what your circumstances are. I don't know if your parents are going to help you out or if they're not going to help you out. I don't know if you're living somewhere, if you have a full-time job, part-time job. I'll talk about a little more of what I was working. I honestly was just working at a movie theater part-time for pretty much all my years at college. So I was working at the movie theater. I ended up becoming an assistant manager, and that was almost a full-time job. And then that's when things got a little tough. It was harder to complete my assignments on time, but I worked my butt off and made sure I turned every assignment in on time. But there was always some of those that I couldn't just because I was working, 40 plus hours a week, and it just wasn't logical. There was some assignments that required 40 hours of the week. So keep that in mind when you're going into this program. There's a lot you have to keep track of, and I would not recommend going into this program if you are full time and you have kids you're looking after, and I would not recommend it. But don't take my word for it though, because there were a lot of students in my program that were, married, they had kids, they were working full time, and they were doing this program. Props to them. Man, I just can't believe, like, if they graduated, I hope they did, but, props to them. That is amazing that you can go through, a really intense college program when you're working full time. I mean, that's just amazing. It amazes me. I could barely get through it just working part time. So, anyways, I don't want to make this video any longer than it is. So, in conclusion, by the end of the web design and development program, you will have hopefully successfully learned how to create an app or website from scratch. They started us off by learning C Sharp, which was by far one of the most hardest courses, as I've never coded in my life prior to Full Sail, right? So besides learning BYOB, which is build your own blocks of code, for those of you who don't know, that's actually just like a puzzle app that lets you connect code functions to create an app or game using the blocks of code that's already been created. Then you kind of like align them and match them and see what happens, basically. Then eventually you'll learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, React Native, Python, API, PHP, MySQL databases, along with MongoDB. I know that already sounds like a lot, right? Yeah, you're going to be learning it all. Okay, it's a lot to learn. There's so many different languages. They're always updating. That's just what happens when you learn how to code. So, anyways, you'll learn how to use virtual machines for Linux and Apache. You'll learn about UI, UX design, designing apps and websites in general. Some courses were easy, while others, like I said, I'd retake more than twice or three times. It will depend on your personal work ethic and who is teaching. I believe some professors care to do a job. They care about doing it. They'll create presentations, while others just uh, at the college just sadly they just don't know what they're doing, and they they don't know how to teach. Maybe it's because um, they've been in a certain situation for so long. They've been a coding wizard for so long that they don't really know how to teach, but they know how to code. So they can be an amazing web developer, app developer, but they still don't have the skills to teach. Learning how to teach is very important today. Um, Very important, especially if you're teaching at a college level. You gotta know how to how to work with these students. You can't just throw them aside. Oh, here's a YouTube video that I created several years ago, and you can barely hear the audio in it. Yeah, that happened a couple times. All right, that's sadly there's always going to be professors like that, I believe. Um, I hate to be judgmental, but there are those professors that just almost it sounds like they don't care at all and they don't even want to be working there. So there always will be, I think, those kind of professors for any college, not just Full Sail. I believe that's for any college, but yeah, so, anyways, some professors made me want to quit, while others encouraged me to keep going. Some, like I said, put effort into their presentations, while others just sent you to an outdated YouTube video, like I said before, just a link for a coding project. And so, one of the assignments, they'll give you a huge list of requirements that seemed dang near impossible to complete in 3 days, which was in case most of the time. In fact, I probably could have learned how to code just through YouTube. Um, but then again, that isn't always the case because you do need that extra help when learning to code. But yeah, college is almost a joke because you're basically just paying for a degree. That's just the reality of college. Don't get me wrong, okay? I feel bad for all the people working at the colleges who are watching this right now. Don't get me wrong, I learned a lot in Full Sail, okay? I probably would never have learned what I learned at Full Sail anywhere else. But still, college is dang expensive, and that's just how it is. That's just how it's always been, and hopefully, well, not always will be. But, anyways, was Full Sail a successful experience? For me, yes. Was it hard? Yes, very hard. Was it worth it? I think so. Would you recommend the program? Yes, but only if you are very organized and can live at home with your parents and hopefully get some money from them as well while working maybe part time and still have a whole day to work on your projects. Yeah. No, I'm kidding, guys. But not really though. But most of my classmates were adults. Most of them had children. They seemed to already have some coding experience. They already had some prior knowledge in their belts, while others were working full-time jobs. Like I said, it's different depending on your circumstances. But I think as someone who has never coded before, I would say that I've learned a lot of valuable information. I graduated with a very cool degree, um, which will be very valuable when I'm job hunting in this day and age of technological advances. And did I get lucky becoming valedictorian or some of the awards I got? Maybe, but then again, there were weeks where I was coding nonstop, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I would say I earned this degree and the awards I got. With all those days and hours I put into my projects, I worked hard and I didn't procrastinate or that often. Okay, maybe I did procrastinate. I mean, who doesn't? But anyways, Full Sail is an excellent school with a lot of flaws in their online courses. Um, they have a lot of student surveys though, for you to tell them what can be improved upon, which is a plus. In fact, 90% of the faculty were very nice, uh, and they're there for your support. I mean, guys, some of it was disorganized. Just but mostly helpful, okay? If you plan to attend Full Sail, I highly suggest that you talk to literally anyone you can on the phone or on the chat, student liaison. Talk to anybody, guys. You'll need that interaction more than ever when you're doing online. Um, Always be asking questions. That was my problem my first year at Full Sail. I wasn't asking any questions. I was kind of just rolling with it, and yeah, that was a mistake. You gotta ask questions, guys. And even when you feel like you don't have any questions, ask questions, if that makes any sense. Um, so a lot of the assignments are confusing, so do not hesitate to ask questions. Communication was the key to my success at Full Sail. Without communication, don't even bother, guys. Hopefully, towards the end of the year, in the next year, I will be uploading a lot more videos on code, and I hope I can make video lessons on like coding for dummies, almost like. And that's kind of my goal right now, is to make a video series on coding for dummies. So I feel like there's a lot I can offer to the YouTubes. So we'll see where life takes me from here. But there's a lot to learn in the world of code. Truthfully, there's not a lot of amazing, easy to follow coding tutorials right now. So I think if I started making some for people who don't have like any desire to code, or have a little desire, may be interested, like my videos should be for them, not the people who've been coding for years already. Um, yeah, because like I said, I'm not a coding, I'm not a coding, I'm not a coding wizard yet. So my goal here is to share my knowledge with you all, and hopefully get some other people interested in coding. All right, 22 minutes. Sorry guys, this video was way too long, but thank you for watching the video. Thank you for sticking with it to the end of this video. And hopefully I will see you in my first tutorial video for learning how to code. Thank you guys for watching, and tune in. Hopefully, I don't, guys, I honestly don't think I'll be posting a new video like every single week. It's going to be spread out. It could be every other 3 weeks to a month, guys. I'm really not consistent about making YouTube videos, but I want to be. And if I get enough subscribers, maybe I would pursue posting every week. So just keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching. This is kind of more like an intro now to my series that I want to make. So again, thank you for being here. Peace out.